Pensioners will receive only a 2% increase in pensions for next year, while doctors and teachers can expect salary increases at a modest 5%. The chairman of the Democratic Party met with former Foreign Minister of Austria to express his concern about the government's ties with international drug trafficking. Tirana's Mayor Erion Veliai led a commemorative ceremony today marking the 73rd anniversary of the liberation of Tirana from Nazi fascism. Good evening, it's 6:03 p.m. on Friday the 17th of November 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. In the coming year, pensions will only increase by 2% or 200 lek. The government has not provided specific funds for the policy of raising pensions and wages. In this way, for the next year, a pensioner who receives 10,000 lek will receive 10,200 lek, a calculation which barely reaches the required increase based on inflation rates. Pensioners themselves rate this increase as modest, while they complain that the increase to costs are much, much greater. Regarding salary increases, the Albanian government has predicted that this will be based on industry sector and will only benefit teachers and doctors. These categories will see a 5% increase for 2018. Thus, a teacher who is paid 45,000 lek with the applicable increase will now receive 47,250 lek. The government predicts wage increases during this mandate to reach 40% for teachers, with the first step predicted in the 2018 budget. Meanwhile, for doctors and nurses, the salary increase will also be 5%. Despite the increase in investment funds, the Rama II government has not paid much attention to raising salaries and pensions thus far. The Socialist Movement for Integration has named the budget for next year a hostile project for citizens. SMI Parliamentary Group Chairman Petrit Vasili presented the three proposals of this political force, saying that the government is only trying to cover up business debts. The government approved a project that has a hostile sentiment for society, said Petrit Vasili. The SMI has made three proposals for the next fiscal package: the reduction of VAT for basic and necessary foods from 20% to 5%, to not lower the threshold of business involvement in VAT, as well as removing tax requirements for first home buyers. The Democratic Party has accused the government of excluding its representatives from the annual meeting of the Albania European Stabilisation Union and Association Council. In a statement, the DP reported that the head of the Integration Commission, Gens Polo, was not sent an invitation. They claim the aim is the concealment of state criminalisation from the opposition, as well as to hide the government's political degradation. In 2011, the government of the Democratic Party created a positive precedent for the involvement of the chairman of the Parliamentary Commission for European Integration, at the time Ditmir Bushati, in the annual meetings of the Albania European Stabilisation Association Council. This positive precedent, based on the consensual support between the majority and the opposition for EU membership, turned into a tradition until November 14, 2017, when the Rama government appeared in Brussels only with its own representatives, such as Ditmir Bushati and others, without any members of the opposition. The Speaker of the Parliamentary Commission for European Integration, Gens Polo, was not sent an invitation. This action was not only in fear of the truth regarding state criminalisation, which can no longer be hidden, either in Tirana or in Brussels. It is also a sign of the political degradation of this government, which is ruining any positive political legacy it has found, clinging to the wheelchair just like the drowned after the bar of the grass, said the Democratic Party in its statement. In a meeting with the former Austrian Foreign Minister Michael Linhart, the chairman of the Democratic Party, Lulzim Basha, expressed his concern about the Albanian government's links to international drug trafficking. Basha considered the government completely paralysed and said that Albania is moving from cannabis cultivation to heroin and cocaine trafficking. Basha repeated that public-private partnership projects are money laundering schemes. The opposition leader also told the former Austrian foreign minister that the European Union cannot ignore government ties to crime, as it puts their credibility into question. The Democratic Party's priorities are to collapse the ties of crime to politics and the realisation of electoral reform, including electronic voting, as one of the ways to get out of the crisis and regain the trust of citizens. In the second half of next year, Austria will receive the European Union's presidency. Former Minister Linhart expressed his country's full support for implementing reforms and achieving concrete results. At a meeting in Durrës with the foreign ministers from Croatia and Montenegro, the Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs, Ditmir Bushati, said that Albania wants to follow the path of Croatia and should benefit from its experience. Albania can learn a lot by following Croatia's example regarding EU integration, said Ditmir Bushati. Bushati was also asked about the negotiations with Greek Foreign Minister Nikos Kotsias. Negotiations with Greece are on the right track, said Bushati. Croatia's former Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Marija Pejcinovic said Croatia will be ready to help Albania, hoping that Albania will open negotiations at the May summit in Bulgaria. We are more than ready and happy to help Albania open negotiations, said Pejcinovic. The Montenegrin minister, Srđan Damjanovic, thanked Croatia and Albania for the assistance they have given to Montenegro in joining NATO and added that European integration is one of the key issues where the tripartisan discussions should focus. EU integration is the main focus of the meeting, said the Montenegrin foreign minister. During the meeting, with the purpose of strengthening collaboration in Adriatic Europe, the ministers of Albania, Croatia and Montenegro focused on the coordination of our countries in the field of security as well as national and regional initiatives in infrastructure, energy and tourism. A special focus was devoted to the progress of strategic projects such as the Adriatic-Ionian Corridor and the TAP pipeline, which is going to link the Trans-Adriatic line to Croatia through Albania, Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.